This episode, we dive our crystal clear local waters, we get into heaps of fish, and some amazing spearfishing action, so let's go ahead and dive right in. You guys, welcome underwater and welcome to the voiceovers. You see that countdown timer? I'm counting down because the timer is about to start. You guys are holding your breath with me, and this is one of the first dives I take. Now, it's a great thing that we have crystal clear viz. We're diving with a bunch of buddies. We got my buddy Dean, Spencer, Jay, and Elijah. So we got a good amount of divers, all solid divers. We do a really good job this trip of watching one another's back, and it makes it really easy with this crystal clear water. So when I first make this drop, I'm going down to retrieve my little throw flasher. I'm doing a ton of grunting because I don't really see anything worth shooting. Now I see those yellow jacks, they're kind of medium size, and normally I wouldn't take a shot, but while I'm down there, I have a brilliant idea. I want to go for a 2-for-1 shot if it gives me the chance comes available. So you can see I'm getting surrounded by these yellow jacks, not really giving them much look. And then I think it's about right here. I see them all crisscrossing, and I'm like, shoot, okay, I need to make sure I try to take a 2-for-1 worst case scenario. So I'm kind of nearing the end of my dive. I'm not seeing any muttons or snapper or grouper or anything come in. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to wait for one of these guys to line up. And if the opportunity presents itself, I'm going to go ahead and take the shot. And you can go ahead and watch this kind of prevail in front of your eyes. I'm waiting. This looks like it's going to show up. Perfect 2-for-1 shot. And when their fish are around like that and they give you the opportunity, it's always fun being successful when you do that. Now I've only done this probably less than a dozen times, and usually it's situations like this. But yeah, very fortunate. That is the first shot I take of the day, and it is 2 fish on 1 shot. I've only pulled my trigger once, and we got 2 fish. So pretty excited about that, but this is the start of an awesome day. So I think there was a Spearo mackerel or something that came in. That's what Jay was kind of flashing his hand at. But these things actually ended up being a little more difficult than I thought to gut and to brain. So I was really trying to make sure they didn't rip off. So I'm trying to pinch them against my flopper while I get my knife. And then I end up dropping my knife. And there was a bull shark that came in hot. I had no idea he was even there. But I decided to pinch these guys kind of against my body, and that was the way I was able to brain them. Other than that, maybe buddy divers help you out, but I didn't really see a necessity of that. So just went ahead and handled them myself and gutted them. And once I gutted them, that's when the fish really showed up. And talk about muttons and mangroves and really all this life. And I don't really get too deterred by the sharks. They don't get super fired up when I gut fish, but there is a chance they could. So I'm always just aware once I see one of these fish cruising around. So I started gutting these things, tossed it to the boat, and go ahead and hold your breath. I dive bomb a mutton that came in. So he came into some of the falling guts from the yellowjack, and I highly suggest always gut your fish because this is the kind of stuff that happens. Now I started following this guy. He gives me the tail wag, and this crystal clear water, it's kind of bittersweet because they can see you coming. And right then I should have taken the shot, but I was waiting to close the gap a little more, waiting for him to not tail wag so much. But he just does not give me a look, and I shoot and whiff. But that is not the last opportunity I get on a mutton. So stay tuned. You guys are going to see multiple muttons shot on this trip, and you can see different hunting tactics. Way better than just the dive bomb and shoot and whiff that I just did there.
A nice mutton. Yeah, he was quarter right the whole time. I took a long shot.
Not long after that last dive, I decided to make a drop. And even if 1 or 2 people make dives, the fact that it's so crystal clear and there's multiple divers, we're all kind of diving as a bunch, it really works in our benefit. So Spencer was down, and I decided to make a drop mainly because the current was moving a little bit, and I dropped my throw flasher. So I'm going to retrieve it. And as I do, I see Spencer off in the distance, and now I'm kind of fixated in his direction. What I could have done and should have done was kind of have my head more on a swivel, and you'll see why in just a minute. But luckily, Spencer is down there, so I'm looking, don't turn really all the way around, or at least I don't see this fish. But I'm looking off in the distance, and then I hear Spencer grunt, and he points, and I'm trying to figure out what he's pointing at. Oh, actually, right there, he points. So he comes up, has a little bit of more of a bird's eye view, points, and I find this mutton that literally came right into me. I didn't even see it. So I really take my sweet time. This one gave me a perfect broadside shot. I shot him right through the eyeballs, I think, or the head. But either way, really excited. First, quality mutton that's in the boat. And Spencer actually took a dive before that and shot a mutton. And you see, this is Jay's perspective. You see the yellow jack on the end of Jay's spear. So we're starting to put fish in the cooler.
He's like right behind you. That's why we buddy died. I didn't even see it. He was so chill. Right behind you.
But it's a really good idea we are, because we have plenty of guys' mouths to feed.
Watch that bull shark, right?
You guys notice what Spencer does? If you have somebody there holding a fish, hand them a knife. It's much easier for them to grab a knife from you and brain it, bleed it, gut it. And you see how quick that is? And I go ahead and give the knife right back. So rule of thumb, always help out your dive buddy, even if it's simple as giving them a knife. All right, so we are getting into the fish. Check this out. Look at what we got. I got the 2-for-1 on the yellow jacks. Jay got a yellow jack. Spinny got a mutton, and I got a mutton. I am absolutely stoked on that. That's why you buddy dive, I mean, and honestly, we normally go one up, one down, but when we're not really pushing ourselves. When Spencer was down there, I actually went down a little bit near him. So when he comes up, I come up, we're like in the same area. Otherwise the current's just ripping us and we get far away from each other. So that's what we did. And Elijah and Jay are just right on top of us. They have our backs. Spencer pointed out that mutton. I passed him up. He wasn't moving and I didn't even see him. Glad I was able to land a shot on that fish. We got dinner for sure. Maybe lunch too. But we're gonna get back in there and we're gonna see what we can get. I'll take you guys with me. Let's go. Here we go, rocking another dive, but this is a little bit of a different vantage point. You'll see me make a drop here, going down, see a big, huge Goliath right there at the bottom of the screen, kind of just chilling there. More yellow jacks cruising around, but I'm kind of over the yellow jack scene, so I'm really hoping for maybe like a mutton or another mutton, or hopefully a grouper, or maybe even luckily a kingfish or some kind of pelagic comes cruising through. But we're doing these little double drops, again, not pushing ourselves by any means. Every dive on this day was probably under 60, and usually we just warm up in like 60, 70 feet. So this is really just easy diving. We're kind of scoping out this area, and that was Jay in front of me, kind of getting a lay of this area. But he goes along the edge and kind of just sits towards the bottom. Now I decide to head up to the surface, and I'm still keeping my eyes on him, but you see his vantage point right here in just a second, and he sees something crazy and gets into something crazy. So give him a follow. I'll leave a link to his Instagram, but go ahead and check him out and watch this drop he makes and some of the stuff he gets into. And for some reason, I feel like all the weird sea creatures just gravitate towards him. I don't know what it is or why they do it, but this turtle comes in and he just doesn't stop. Like, I probably would have been freaked out. There's a nice mutton up at the top over there, but he's dealing with this, I think it's a green, no, it's maybe a hawksbill turtle. Just comes in, so he kind of gives him a nudge to kind of push him away, let him know that he's not there to mate. And Jay unfortunately doesn't get a shot on that fish.
Somebody shot.
This is a really cool hunt that I do. You see this structure we're kind of going over, and it's just primetime hogfish and mutton territory. And our goal is to kind of mix the bag up a little bit. We have some yellow jacks, some muttons. We're hoping for a hogfish, something like that. But obviously, if something presents itself, an opportunity, we're gonna go ahead and take it. So I make a drop. I saw some muttons off in the sand on the opposite side of this little hump. So I decided to go to the sand on one side, and then I just crawl with my left hand over this hump. And now I spot some muttons, so I go ahead and get my gun ready in case it decides to charge, or if I want to lunge like I did. I used that little gap I was hoping he was going to go right through that gap, but he ended up turning back the other direction. This fish gets a little tame and allows me to get the headshot. Perfect headshot. Actually, it ends up being a little bit back. It's more of a spine shot. But either way, I'll take it. No struggle. Heading up to the surface. And I'm still going to brain this fish. Some of you spine them and you just leave them. I always love to brain my fish and put it out of its misery.
I'm a stoner, dude. Stoner's got a stone. Thanks, man.
We're gonna switch over to Jay's camera, and you can see we're diving the same area. He makes a drop on the edge of the sand, and again, if you do this, you have a high chance of seeing muttons. Occasional hogfish, and you'll see, Spencer later in the video getting after some hogfish, but he makes a drop to the sand, and you would think that you want to look over the reef, but you'll see Jay kind of takes a glance at the reef, but looks back to the sand, and that's whenever he saw mutton. And he kind of plays it cool, one hand in the sand, starts patting the sand a little bit, causes those yellow jacks to come in, but also that mutton beelines right to him, head on, turns a little bit sideways, lands a killer stone shot. Now this was a stone shot, you can see the difference. Mine was a little bit farther back, his is. Kind of imagine where you would think the fish's brain is. That's exactly where it is, right behind the eye. Perfect stone shot. Jay is stoked about this, and we get even more stoked in the boat, kind of. So you gotta stay tuned for some boat dialogue in just a second.
Woo! Jay's fish don't take up much space.
Jay finally shooting legal fish, bro. If it's small enough to fit in your wetsuit, you can't say it's a monster.
Went right home.
Dude.
Oh, what the?
What, he threw some stuff in here?
It just squirted in my
Ewy. Dude, what are you doing? You're making a mess. The whole boat was beautiful, and you did this.
Once upon a time.
All right, you're cleaning the boat by yourself. You're detailing this thing.
Gut shot.
Wow, gut shot, Gary.
Reminds me of
Dude, I'm surprised it didn't tear out.
Dude, it shot it here. It was like hanging up by a thread. I had to go down there and wrestle him up to it.
Good job. Good job.
Yeah.
So you see it there. We always have a good time. Not only just, it's not all serious in the water. We kind of make it lighthearted. Always giving each other kind of a hard time on the boat. Because, really, out there diving, everybody makes mistakes. Even the best divers make mistakes, and just all we do is kind of laugh at each other, and it's always fun banter. And I usually don't like diving with the people that kind of takes themselves like way too seriously, because being out on the water is always a good time. And you see Jay making a drop on this fish, shooting a mang, and we're just putting meat in the boat. And again, none of this goes to waste. We're all eating this, we're all sharing it. We have families, so we're all it's feeding probably maybe based off every person feeds like 1 or 2 people. We're feeding like over 10 people. So this isn't even close to enough fish as we need. But we will take what we can get, another variety in the box, and we're super stoked. We kind of give each other a hard time, but we're always there helping each other out and excited about the fish.
Dude, I couldn't see that. I was like, what is he chasing? I couldn't see him from the surface. Yeah. Take it, Victoria. I know it. That's a good one. How long is he? 18?
I hope so.
Yeah, he's legal, for sure.
Right?
Yeah.
He's okay. He's okay.
Oh, yeah.
That's what I was asking.
Oh. Oh, look at the hammer.
So I quickly charge this hammerhead, trying to see it, and somebody shoots a gun off like right near my head. And I'm doing a bunch of grunting and stuff, but yeah, like I said, I'm trying to call that fish back, but somebody shot it, like I said, right by my head. But Spencer's hogfish actually got off, and it scared the crap out of me because I was not expecting a gun to shoot. And it wasn't really right by my head, it was just kind of nearby, but I was not expecting a gunshot, especially when a shark was kind of swimming around.
Scared the out of me.
Here we go with Jay's last dive of the day. Shoots a stellar fish, and actually this is the fish that was on the boat earlier that we were talking about. I got the clips a little mixed up. The stonefish, he just threw it right in the boat. This one is the one that was a little bit of a gut shot, but you'll be able to see why on this video. There's a huge Goliath grouper right there in the distance. And then also a turtle right there. Just this little area is just full of sea life. And you'll see why Jay shoots this fish and just rips him in. It's because that Goliath is probably there just waiting to get an opportunity on a speared fish. So you see him turn back around, kind of watching Jay. And you see, I just love this kind of diving because even if he came up without a fish, it's such a stellar dive because he gets to see the Goliath grouper. There's tons of life on this reef. The turtle's right there. But fortunately for him, past that little angelfish is a nice mutton that comes in. And he was just chilling down there, which caused this curiosity from this mutton. Lands a really good shot, and normally, luckily this Goliath grouper wasn't too fired up because normally they'll turn around and try to swallow this fish whole. But Jay shoots him, rips him up really fast, gets him to the boat. And I think he spotted a kingfish or something down there. But either way, another mutton in the box. We're so super happy with this day so far. You can see those dark clouds kind of looming or lurking in the distance, and that's a little bit of foreshadowing for what's about to happen. Alright everyone, I am done for the day. Took all my gear off, washed it down, and now I'm running the boat for the guys, but that was absolutely amazing. A super short local dive, nice and easy, beautiful viz, amazing fish around, so it really doesn't get any better than that. But you guys stay tuned, I'm gonna cook up this fish, so don't you go anywhere, and I'll see you guys back at home. And holy smokes! Bro, look at that! Holy smokes! It is cranking. Oh god, look at all that rain. We're about to get throttled here with some rain. Holy hell. Jesus, bro. Holy crap. Woo! This is nuts. This is crazy. Land is right there. I'm trying to make it in. Woo! This is crazy.
How do you put water over here? Right? Well, it doesn't matter. We're almost at the inlet. The inlet's right here.
Woo! Oh, Jesus. Woo! Crazy. We have made it back to my crib. I have this nice little cleaning station area set up. The mutton has been sitting on ice in this cooler for 3 days, and it's been draining out the drain pipe, and I've just been reapplying ice out of my ice maker in my normal fridge over and over again just to make sure everything stays nice and cold and the fish doesn't soak up the moisture and it just dry ages because it's draining that ice off of it. But I'm gonna show you guys the cleaning process of this mutton. I'm gonna make it really quick. It's a nice little mutton, and I'm gonna do something special. I'm gonna cook it up, but kind of cook it up in a different way, so stay tuned for that. The area nice and cleaned out. It's an old cooler I use here,
And I just go ahead, clean off this because it just kind of sits out here. It's my own little cleaning area. And now we got our fillet station. You guys look at this beauty. It is perfect eating size, and I'm gonna cook it up a special way. You feel with your fit thumb up at the top of the head where the meat starts, get the knife, kind of go angle against the scales. And this guy has already been gutted, bled, everything, so he's gonna be prime and ready to rock and roll. Flip the knife inside out. Once you make that incision right here, all the way down to the rib cage, flip the knife and just go upwards and cut outwards along the top of the spine here. And just little tiny incisions. And that way you're not, you know, digging too deep into the meat. You're just kind of cutting through the skin. Flip the knife back over, and then now you work along the top of the spine. You can just feel it. Having a sharp knife, and then once you get to the bones right here, flip it to the side. You'll cut through those pin bones. Here, a couple of the pin bones crack. You can, if you want to cut into the belly meat, you can. I kind of cut along the edge of the belly meat bones. That meat looks insane because it's just been dry aging. Wow. All right, and it is so firm because it's been on ice. Flip it over, do the exact same thing. Some people leave the other fillet on. I just, you know, don't need to. Especially not on a fish like this. It's pretty easy to work with. Do the same thing, flip the knife, go upward. The same deal, cut along. You can feel it, you can hear it on the knife just going along the, oh, I cut through, whoops. What happens when you get really close? You end up sometimes cutting through the spine. Cut through those pin bones, work your way down, and out, all the way. Get through it. And then you're left with just a see-through rib cage. I'm gonna save this for later. I'm probably gonna either use it for chum or bury it under a tree, use it for compost, get the scales off the knife. And let's see, just start at the tail, let the knife do all the work, little incisions so you can get a hold of the skin, cut all the way out. And then you're left with this beautiful fillet. I flip it over and I feel the pin bones. You kind of just go straight down, go right at the bottom and then out. Get a little scraps there. And this is what you're left with, a beautiful mutton fillet. This is prime time. I'm gonna do something really special, so don't go anywhere. I'll see you guys in the kitchen. So we made it to my kitchen and I'm gonna dice this fish up perfectly. So now I really don't like the bloodline, so I'm gonna get in an angle right here. And if I was just throwing this away, I probably would just eat it, but I'm gonna give it to this little girl. Tiva? Oh, sit pretty. Oh, that's a good girl, good girl. All right, and I'm gonna do the same thing with the other fillet. Actually, I'm gonna do the same thing with the other fillet, but I'm just chopping this in little pieces, and I'm gonna get it right here, about that thick, which is about a 1/4 inch thick. And I'm gonna slice that, another 1/4 incher, and then I'll do a little bit of a 1/4 inch. Turn it sideways, and I'm gonna cut these 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna do this with every single piece of fish here, and I'll visit when I'm finished. So we got everything diced up. Look at that bowl of goodness. Tiva, what do you think? Is it Tiva approved? Yeah, that's right, look away from me. All right, so another thing I'm gonna add, I kind of cheated a little bit. I went ahead and I could have diced all this stuff up, but I got some peppers and one of those like little, it's called a tomato trinity. It's over at Publix. And the other ingredients, I'm going to cut and squeeze 3 lemons, 2 limes. I'm gonna dice up the avocado, and then also squeeze the orange in there as well. And I have a special treat. We are almost in mango season, and I actually had a couple of green mangoes, cotton candy, that dropped a little early. They're nice and soft now. They've been sitting up here ripening. I cut into one of them, and oh my God, it's so good. It's not good enough to like eat. It's not its prime time, but it has a little bit of sour taste. I'm gonna dice these up the same size as the fish, and I'm gonna toss that in there, and I'll show you guys the aftermath.
Make sure you guys do not have any cuts in your hand when you're squeezing these lemons and limes because it could sting. I was just imagining that when I was catching the seeds, but look at this batch. Look how good that looks. I'm gonna mix this up. I'm gonna put it in the fridge. I'm gonna coach a little bit of volleyball, and then I'm gonna come back to my house and I'm gonna have this for dinner. Don't go anywhere. You're not gonna wanna miss this. I just got back from coaching and it has been probably about 4 to 5 hours since this has been sitting in there. I came home, I added 2 things. I added cilantro and some avocado, and this is what we got. I'm gonna go ahead and use some plantain chips. Gonna give it its first taste test. I grabbed a couple of chips so I can get a nice stack of the goodness on it. First taste test. I instantly tasted the mango, the sweetness. And not only is it good, I was super stoked how easy it was to make this. If you guys are ever interested, I highly suggest trying this. It's easy to do on the go if you're on vacation, on the boat, fishing, anything. Get out there, try some ceviche. This is a nice, easy recipe. So happy I was able to take you guys on this adventure. If you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. Give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Also, if you want to do a little bit extra, consider becoming a YouTube member. It goes a long way and it goes straight back into the videos to bring you guys content. Also, at the end, feel free to binge watch all the episodes. The playlist will be at the end of the video. Like always, I will see you guys next week for another adventure. Later.